The way we are looking at the market, you can actually see XRP did break higher. It is right now coming back for a retest. We have seen similar situations playing out in the recent past, which is close to the end of November, and right now, most likely, we are repeating something similar. And in Bitcoin, you kind of get to see its own recent past, taking last 2 years and all the similar fluctuations into account. As you can see, the market gives you the signs. But yeah, it's not a micro and a short-term signal. Rather, it is a medium to long-term signal. But if you do take those into account and look for the volatility, it may not actually surprise you. Because when you do pick up the dollar, it's slowing down a bit. When you pick up Bitcoin on a micro, it does show you it is slowing down. This is exactly where you need to look for the momentum. On a daily, you're watching this. The normal candlesticks on the daily is arguing that it is trying to get a high-end close, right? It's at the all-time highs region. So what next for the altcoins? Because this kind of shows a different story. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you look through the market, you can actually see a lot of different coins starting to move higher, being highly volatile, going up, down, all those things. But what's more important at this point is recognizing the fact that, yeah, the price did go up a bit too much on a micro situation. And now it's showing you it is trying to do a consolidative move before it takes the next leg up. This is exactly what we have talked before, saying when the market goes up, keep in your mind we will get to see these kind of huge drops. Now, if you're highly levered, yeah, it is going to hurt you. But if you're not, that may not hurt your portfolio, right? If you go 5x, 10x, all of the positions would be getting liquidated. Whereas if it's not, you may still end up with a 80 to 90% accuracy in the market. Meaning if you take 10 trades, just 1 or 2 will get liquidated. All the rest gets to live. That's when you trade. But if you're not trading and you're a long-term rider, a spot rider, then this is what you're looking at. On an XRP chart, using a weekly, this chart kind of gives you the idea it's still moving up, but right now you have a hanging man. So historically speaking, now we have the responsibility to go in the past and look for these hanging man patterns if that candle gets closed there. Now, the weekly candle close is coming very soon, so we need to look for each and every time in the past where you got a hanging man and what the result was. Right? Was it a continuation pattern? Was it a downside? And right now, as the hanging man pattern in the textbook suggests, it shows you a local top. So fine. Think about this. XRP started moving from 0.4. It went all the way up to $2.9, now trying to make a local top. So what would you look for a corrective move? So the corrective move happens to be around 30% in XRP, which means from that local top, you put that 30%, you reach close to $2. 1.85 to $2 would be the target region. Now, you came there once and you bounced off. So if you're zooming in on that, now you're like, fine, we actually reached there, we touched the moving average. So why won't this go back up? There are a lot of different chances that it can just retest the micro breakout and continue back to the upside. This is exactly what the micro charts show you for XRP. Now, the trouble is Bitcoin needs to agree with the same. So here on a 4-hour chart, if XRP is saying I'm going up, you need to see Bitcoin saying the same. Otherwise, Bitcoin will slow down and push the entire market down. So on the Bitcoin side of the equation, we just saw, okay, we had a pattern before, but that pattern did not bounce with the first retest, as you can see like this. Rather, it actually did a little bit of consolidative move before it took the next leg to the upside. So most likely that's exactly what we are going to repeat here before we bounce off with such a move. And it's not once or twice where Bitcoin has done that, right? We can see all these patterns before, We broke higher, we retested that couple of times and then started moving back up. So most likely we may actually see a similar situation repeating in Bitcoin, which means that is going to highly influence the Bitcoin dominance. So when you do pull out the Bitcoin dominance, say at least on a 3-day chart, what you're watching is, yeah, we had a great reversal to the positive side for the altcoin market. And when you put it on a weekly chart, you kind of get to see it's just a retest, which we talked about. We argued that this is coming, right? You may actually get scared, but end of the day, it is going to look something like this. Because the history kind of says that odds are tilted towards this direction. And I argue that this thing is going to go into that direction as well. The fake out is going to push the price to the downside. So while you be in the market, understand there's going to be enormous volatility ahead. You'll have to look through macro trends, go pick up the return rates, look for the quarterly where it's going up, but weekly where it's going down. If you're a spot rider, this is where you can find opportunities to add on to. Say you pick up Gala, you pick up Dot, whichever you like, and have a look at it. Say, for example, you pick up Dot. You put Dot on a chart, and there seems to be some mistake. Fine. You actually pick up Dot on a long-term scale, and you look at this. It did break higher. It's starting to go back up. And the 1, the 2, the 3 kind of move is forming. So you saw something similar before the 1, the 2, the 3. So the current move in Polkadot is going to be a micro corrective wave 2, after wave 2. So after this, you will see the extension for the same move. So that extension should actually be the wave 3 on a micro leg. Now say you pull up Gala for that matter. What do you see? The current drop. Yeah. But what you should understand is in the previous cycles when you were going up, you literally had around 40-50% drop before you went back up. So right now you're watching similar thing, close to 40% drop in Gala. So if you are averaging down on it, I wouldn't say that's a wrong move, because personally I would do the same. But if you do look at the micro and you're focusing a lot on micro, you would be observing something like this. Most likely you'll get to see the ABC after this ride to the upside, and then a new trend to the upside. So this is exactly what we should be looking at in these assets, right? So yes, there are opportunities, or else you go the other direction. Which of these are now trending up? Now go check the volume. Does the volume support any kind of breakout here? If it does, then you will have to pick them on the macro chart and see if they are primed for a run to the upside, meaning the RSI on the weekly is very close to 65 to 70. So that kind of gives you an idea, okay, it's about to ride back higher. Now, put XRP on a weekly and look at its weekly RSI. It's still about 85, so it's still overbought, meaning not to sell. I mean, the idea here is there's a ton of buying power here and not much in the selling side of the equation. So yes, there can be a lot of profit takers jumping out of the equation, but that's exactly when the market continues to the upside, keeping them aside, right? Left behind, then jump back in the FOMO. We've seen a lot of these things before. So right now, look for the micro. It's a trading market in the micro, and watch how the volatility is changing. If it does retest this and bounce back up, that's okay. You don't have much of a negative divergence. On a 3-day chart, XRP doesn't give you a negative divergence, whereas when you go to the Bitcoin side of the equation, it is starting to develop a negative divergence. You go on a weekly, you're like, fine, it may start doing that here because the monthly is already doing that. So if this needs to become a fake out, then the monthly needs to push further to the upside. So if you're here in the market and you need further updates on a regular basis like these at the right time for the right assets, you can be in the Scientific Investor family with 1,400 other members. You can use the link in the description below to jump into the Patreon. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on next video. Bye for now.